Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Pillai Center Practice YouTube, Powertime Practice, here on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023. My name is Sucharita. For those of you who don't know me, wishing you all a very warm welcome. And welcome to those of you who have been coming for several years to find out what is happening at Pillai Center and why it's so important not to blink and miss it. So we have Radha on chat, and we have Yagna taking notes, and we have Chandra sending them out to you. So it takes a village to help everyone to get the most out of Dr. Pillai's teachings. So Power Time practice is all about being in the right place at the right time, thinking, saying, and doing the right thing. And that creates this sense of ease and grace, and you're in the flow, and miracles happen every second. That's our birthright. Although, geez, we forgot when we came to this earth plane as a little soul saying, hey, I want that lifetime. I want that family. And we're stuck with them for the rest of our life because our family is forever, even if we are estranged from them. Now, if you are estranged from your family, it's probably a good idea to consider what we're going to talk about today and participating in that. There's services, there are meditations, there are mantras, there are rituals, there are fire labs, there are so many things that you can do to help you to navigate this tricky time. So Aadi month is a Tamil month that runs from mid-July to mid-August. And every year the goddesses come to the earth plane, and the goddesses represent the energy and protection and power in our life force. So if we're feeling low and sluggish, we need the goddess energy. Now, where are the goddesses? Well, they're in the cosmos, and they are also inside of us. And the Kundalini energy, or the Shakti, the energy of the goddess, is within us. So as it is above in the cosmos, so it is here on the earth plane and inside of us. So on the earth plane, where would we see it? What would it be characterized by? So we see it in nature, beauty of nature, and it's amazing. A flower doesn't have to say to the next flower, hey, how's it growing? It just grows, and it's beautiful. So there is, the beauty in the mountains and in the waters and in the seas and in the oceans and the rivers and the streams and the creeks. And then there's the birds and the bees and all the animals and the trees. And then we are here navigating all of it. So Mother Nature is the goddess. So the earth is also known as the goddess. So we want to make sure that we are aligning with that energy. And this is the time of the year where you will feel it if you connect with the goddesses. So there's lots of different ways you can do that. And you can maybe go into Pillai Center Academy. There's a bunch of Shri Brazil courses, as well as the goddess courses as well. And then there's another time that it's really, really important to help you to come out of your harms and hurdles, meaning that if you feel like you have gone through ups and downs from birth and all the way through your life up until this point, and money comes and goes, relationships go up and down, there could be bickering and fighting, there could be challenges with your interpersonal relationships, not only with your family, with your friends, your colleagues, your work colleagues. Maybe you never get a promotion and you are the most qualified person. Maybe the finances, when you have savings, some big, huge thing happens. Maybe you get in a car accident and you total your car, and then all that savings has to go to your car. Yes, we save for a rainy day, but then we have all these other challenges that come out of nowhere, and we don't have the savings. We don't have the investments. We don't even have that kind of consciousness. And then we get on a spiritual path and we say, oh my God, there's nothing happening. I feel so good when I do my spiritual practices, but then afterwards I'm all crotchety and ratchety and all miserable and I'm bitter and I'm regretful and all the rest. So it's a big mosh pit, or our mind is like a monkey, and our thoughts seem to keep going. They keep ratcheting over the same kinds of memories of the past. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Oh, I did it. How do I drop it? And all that negativity comes into the space. There can be litigations, and you can see that maybe throughout your whole family. Maybe there's divorce, and it's tough on everyone, including the kids. Even if you don't have kids, it's tough to go through. And it can be that legal situations come up for you out of nowhere as well. Insurance issues, if you had an accident and you can't get paid out. So all these problems, all these challenges, no matter what we do, it doesn't seem like we can come out of it. So we go and we have an astrology consultation, and the astrologer says, well, you have this kind of placement where that's what you came here to learn. And you're going, oh, why did I think about that? Why did I do that? But it is here to purify all those problems are here to purify our soul. And we chose our family. We chose our work circle of friends, our social circle. And then because that's the energy that we radiate. And so we attract that into our lives until we resolve it or dissolve it through karma busting techniques and mantras and so on. But here's the thing. Dr. Pillai says, if you only do one thing in your life besides being grateful, that is the biggest thing. You're always grateful for your life, even if it's challenging. It's God. And God said, hey, you're a little soul, go check it out. So be grateful that you are being challenged, you're growing, you're shaping yourself into a beautiful being. And maybe you'll get to that point where you'll be liberated. Who knows? However, we don't want to wait till the very end. We want to be feeling liberated now. So Dr. Pillai shares that the ancestors are those who have passed away in our lineage on our mother's side and on our father's side. And it can go on, those generations. So we inherit the thoughts of our ancestors. In fact, Dr. Pillai says the majority of thoughts come from the ancestors, and we can change them by honoring them. And once we connect with our ancestors, every aspect of our life can be improved. You can look at the relationship with your ancestors, even when they were here on the earth plane. Maybe there was bickering and fighting. Maybe that was really beautiful, and you can't experience that beauty because there are other ancestors who are hanging upside down in those spiritual realms. So we've got to do something for them, because no matter what we have done up until this point, it's not working. And then even our prayers and even our mantras and our meditations and the rituals and the fire labs and everything we do, the pilgrimages we go on, it doesn't seem to work. That's the key, though, is that you've invested all this time, all your resources, all your energy, all your focus, all your prayers. You have been doing the right thing, but guess what? The gods cannot fully bless us until we get the ancestors' blessings. And it makes sense. So soul genetics is something that you might want to check out. It's in Pillai Center Academy, and Rhoda will pop the link onto the chat if you're interested in finding out how to communicate with your ancestors and ask them for what you want. And you will be initiated into a beautiful communion with your ancestors by Dr. Pillai by taking that course. And also you will find out ways in which you can keep honoring your ancestors at their power times. So speaking of power times, Aadi this month between mid-July and mid-August, right at the end of it. So around the 15th or the 16th, depending on where you are in the world of August, Aadi Amavasya is happening. And Amavasya means new moon. So it also means no mind. So there's a thin veil that if you can't see the moon with your naked eye in the sky, when it's a new moon. You can see it when it's a full moon, obviously, and then it slices and dices across the sky in the different phases up until the new moon. But the new moon, it's pretty dark out. So the new moon is all about calming your mind down and then piercing through into the spiritual realms. Super easy. There's nothing really holding you back. You're not thinking too much. You're just in that sense of awe, and you're wide awake with your eyes closed, maybe, or open. And if you're doing the right things, such as feeding your ancestors with the tarpanum, and during that new moon phase, and it happens once a month, but at this time of the year, during Aadi month, Aadi Amavasya, is a really powerful time. And it's one of the few times in the year. So every month on a new moon, if you don't do your tarpanum daily, which Dr. Pillai recommends, and you're not in the year-long tarpanum program to honor the ancestors with a ton of rituals, 365 days, then you can at least do it on the new moon. Or you can have it done proxy as well through Pillai Center Ashrabat. So honoring the ancestors you will free them of their sins. And we're connected to them. So the majority of our thoughts come from them. No wonder we can't feel like we have our own life. So the ancestors are asking to be relieved of the suffering and the pain, and that they endured and continue to endure as they are going into their elevated states in the spiritual realms. So please, please, please honor the ancestors. This is one of the most important days to sponsor the tarpanum if you can't do it at home. And they're more than willing to come to the earth plane. They're coming to the earth plane anyways. It's like a vortex opens up. And how will you know? You will have maybe a headache or pain in your body, or you'll be thinking about your ancestors, or you'll have visions if you can go into those deep states of meditation. You pierce through that thin, thin, thin veil, and they're right there. Or you might see people in your life that seem a bit strange, and you're, oh my God, that looks like my ancestor. And you will just know. Or you could be all of a sudden out of nowhere estranged from families or distant relatives, and all of a sudden out of nowhere they call you, or you receive a snail mail from them, or an email or a text. Hey, how's it going? You're what? So that can be that the ancestors are being appeased with your prayers and offerings to them. So they're more than willing to come to your place, as Dr. Pillai shares. They will just show up wherever you are because you're radiating that energy. And then when you pray for them and you offer the tarpanum, then you get the blessings. It helps them to be liberated. They get to be freed from the sins or the mistakes that they have made. And Dr. Pillai says that this is it's very challenging for all of us to progress in life without the blessings of the ancestors. Now, as I mentioned, there are different times of the year, only a few, where the ancestors really are available to come and receive your prayers, your offerings, and they can remove certain afflictions from your lineage. So, for example, addictions, any kind of addiction, can be that you have carried that through your genes, and then it gets expressed, even though you try not to, even though you know, okay, I understand all the problems around alcoholism or drug abuse or any kind of abuse. And you avoid it. So you have to become very alert and very aware, and you have to change your life. And it's tough, because the ancestors want you to mess up at some point, and you do. And then you're just like, oh my God, I can't get rid of it. And even if you do, maybe you see it in your family, in the family members. And then it causes a lot of pain and suffering for you and the family member. So that can be at a time of the year where those afflictions can get removed. Now, this Aadi Amavasya is when curses can be removed, and they become major impediments to our happiness and prosperity. So curses can be that somebody cuts you a dirty look, or you feel like there's always this sense that people are out to get you, or you feel like just when you're reaching to that state of success, you get knocked down, or something happens. Maybe you're married, or you're with somebody, and then they just turn away from you. Or if you look in your life and you count on your hand how many really great friends do you have, and maybe you have none. Maybe there's just superficial people around you. So that's kind of like a curse. It's not kind of like, it is one. And people do say, I feel so cursed, Sucharita. What do I do? And so this is the big thing. If you only did that in your life, offer the tarpanam every day between sunrise and sunset, wherever you are in the world. After you take a shower, go to your tarpanam. You can face the south direction, offer what we have here as it's got some white rice powders and black sesame seeds. And there, in this particular one, there are some little grains or little pieces of darba grass. So darba grass has magical qualities that will help to appease the ancestors. So we've done so many Powertime practice tarpanam calls. So go and review those YouTubes, or you can review some of the calls that Dr. Pillai has done, or the sessions that Dr. Pillai has done on Pillai Center YouTube as well. And then if you go into Soul Genetics, the course in Pillai Center Academy, you will learn everything that you need to know about how to honor your ancestors, when to do it, what to do it. And then you'll have that. It's an evergreen, it's forever. And then you can always check it out. And you get that initiation as well. So you get the divine Wi-Fi connection to your ancestors, and it's high speed. So you can get abundant blessings, and they can remove blockages in your progress. They provide wealth and overall well-being for you and your future generations. And that's what we want to do. I come from a family where there was a lot of alcoholism and physical, mental, emotional, spiritual abuse, sexual abuse, all kinds of crazy things. And it's taken decades to overcome. However, at this point, I can see that all my family members are being relieved as well, and they're not even participating in anything to do with tarpanam. So whatever each and every one of us is doing at an individual level, we are impacting our whole gene pool. So that takes a lot of pain and suffering away that has been passed on through the generations. And I can see now with our kids' generations, that generation and then their kids as well, is really tremendous. They have so much freedom, and it's like, yay. So we want to stop the pain and the suffering and all the sins. We want to stop from carrying the sins of our father, so to speak. It's not just a saying, it's an actual truth. So getting those praying to the ancestors, giving them the tarpanam. If you do it daily, then you can't miss the new moons. But when you know that this is a power time where a lot of ancestors will come in, and you can feed a lot of them, even if you just have a little bit, that's all they need, because they're in the spiritual realm. They just need the essence of the offering to connect with you. And then your heartfelt prayers to be removed or to be relieved of the curses. So they were cursed, and then they passed that curse down to you. So it's not like they went and did a bad thing to you. They couldn't finish clearing out that karma. They couldn't pay it back. So the debt got carried or passed on through them, and then passed on to us. So we want to stop it, and then take the action in your life also to make sure that you don't dip into the bottle if that's something that you have done and fallen off the wagon. It's terrible. So we don't need to go into that, but you know what I mean. So you can resolve your problems and restore your wealth and health and family well-being. And that's as Dr. Pillai shares, the importance of doing the Tarpanam rituals on Aadi Amavasya. It's to change your destiny. So this is a technique to satisfy the ancestors by offering them the food, the black sesame seeds, rice, and water, facing the south direction. That's where the ancestors, the god of death is there. So the ancestors are there. They're dead. They're no more. So it can be done for about 7 generations on both sides of the family, maternal and paternal, so mom and dad's side of the family, mother and father's side of the family. Even pets. This is a big one. People are closer to their pets than they are even to their own family members or any relations that they have. So that even you can say, oh, I feel so bad because I hit my dog when I was just, frustrated and I can never forgive myself. So you can also do Tarpanam and then pray for your pets who have passed away too. Because they're little spirit guides for us. They're just pure love, unconditional love, and they help us to work out our problems. They are unconditional. So when these ancestors are satisfied, it clears those negative tendencies, and then we can feel like our problems are being resolved in a very miraculous way. So there are very powerful, they call them power spots, Kashi, Rameshwaram, and those are the places where the energy or the Pitrus, the ancestors, they come down to the earth plane and droves. They just flood the earth plane. That's where they go, because it's kind of like, where the hot spot is in town for the best burgers. And so it's always busy there. And at particular times, it's even more busy. So the ancestors know that they need to go to those places, and then once they are appeased, they can go into those higher planes of light, and then you can feel light, this lightness of being. So there's the significance of this Aadi new moon is to pray to the ancestors. They have the power to elevate your status and bless you with success and good fortune. You don't even know how it's going to happen, but it just does. And you have to experiment with it. I'm in a year-long program, a Tarpanam program, and that's the thing. I believe, not just believe, it is. Because in all the years that I've been studying with Dr. Pillai, which is about 3 decades, it's only in the past decade or so, a little bit more maybe, that they started, Dr. Pillai said, okay, I'm going to commission these priests and all these power spots to pray for the ancestors, because obviously we haven't done it. And we're getting all these spiritual practices, but they're not working. They're not giving the full benefit. They are working, but not to get the full benefit, because the ancestors are saying, hey, you need to pray for us first, and then we will bless you. So at this time, when the sun is moving southward in this direction, the south direction, it's called Dakshinayan, it enters the sign of Cancer. And it is this space in the cosmos, and it is a time that the sun represents our soul. So it goes into Cancer, which is a very nurturing sign, and it's ruled by the moon. So the sun and the moon, the sun represents the father as well, or the paternal side of the family. And then the moon represents the mother, the maternal side of the family. So it comes together, and it just creates this energy to release, liberate, and enlighten. It's moksha, they call it, or mukti. And then you can experience this elevation and this lightness of being. People who cannot lose weight, weight comes and goes. It's really a struggle, or it just piles on. That's the ancestors. They want to eat. And then you have to feed them that, or you'll feed yourself. And you just keep doing it until you're so, you can't even move. And then maybe you will just say, okay, I got to start feeding the ancestors. So start feeding the ancestors. And also on that new moon, start feeding other people. So Tripura Foundation is a really great place that Dr. Pillai has put online. And then all the proceeds, pretty much all the proceeds, go to sponsoring those in need and also the elderly. So here's the key to being liberated. We all are going to get to that point. Well, hopefully we get older, and then we're going to have people around us to take care of us if we help those who are elderly now. So why wait? So it's a great way to honor the ancestors, especially if you haven't been doing that, or you weren't able to help your parents. Maybe they're passed away, no more, or they're just so difficult. The relationship is just so painful and you really want to. So you just feed others, you help others who are in need, and especially the elderly and also kids. So Dr. Pillai has invited all of us. Just go check it out on the new moon. Go to tripurafoundation.org, and then you just give a small amount or read about it, and your heartstrings will be pulled, and you will be in tears, and you will want to do something, and that will be your ancestors giving you the clue. Do this now, and then you will be relieved, because a lot of our ancestors weren't charitable. So they passed that debt down to us. Or even if they were, like I have an uncle who's passed away, and he was very charitable, but he passed away before he got really, went into his older golden years, and he died of cancer. So I always felt the pinging of his soul to keep doing the charitable deeds that he couldn't finish off. His kids are doing it, it's passed on, and he's sponsored a lot of different things in his name. So that's good. But you can feel his soul inside, and it's this pinging, and it's him. And I have many uncles and aunts so who have passed away. And he is the one who always says, come on, make sure that you keep doing what I couldn't do. So that's how you will know that there's this shift inside of you. Oh, okay, I am on the right track. My soul is doing the right thing. So it's not about your mind. A lot of people say, nothing is working. Do this, and then come and talk to me. So when we go and pray to the ancestors or participate in proxy services done for our ancestors on our behalf on this Aadi Amavasya, then you're going to get a lot of blessings. You appease the ancestors, you do rituals, and you relieve the suffering. And how will you know that their suffering is relieved? You will be relieved. That pain that you had in your body, or maybe you inherited cancer, or maybe you inherited rheumatoid arthritis, or maybe you inherited some addiction, and you can't do it anymore. Mental illness. People who have committed suicide, or ancestors who have committed suicide, or even abortions or miscarriages, those souls of those little beings didn't get to live a life. So they're pinging us. So we really need to pray to those souls and say, listen, I got it. I'm just going to keep feeding you. I'm going to keep sponsoring this tarpanum until you're appeased. And you will feel it. So this, when the sun and the moon is in this star Shlesha is this constellation nakshatra in the sign of Cancer, and it makes it an ideal time to appease your ancestors and remove obstacles that hinder your fortune and wealth. So there are so many things that are getting done. You can remove this Pitru dosha, is the afflictions of the ancestors, and you can see it where your Rahu is or your Ketu is, and that is also a power time that's coming up in the coming month. I think it is. It's called Panchami, Naga Panchami and Naga Chaturthi, Naga Chaturthi and Garuda Panchami. So it is a time to get blessings from the ancestors and remove afflictions, snake curses. So sometimes we find out that our ancestors were, they killed snakes. And the snake represents the Kundalini energy. So in the spiritual realms, it can be a little bit scary for us because we're like, oh, what has snakes got to do with anything? But it's the Kundalini energy in the cosmos, and then it manifests as snakes here on the earth plane. So our ancestors may have gone and, chopped up snakes just for fun, or they didn't know. Maybe they the snakes were on their property, and then the barn burnt down, and the snakes got killed. So those are spiritual beings, and then we get afflicted from it, and we get cursed by the snakes. So, and everyone knows when especially people who are really afraid of snakes, just the thought of it, or they dream about them and it's just horrible dreams, like nightmares, or they're just always thinking that there's something creepy, following them. That's a snaky kind of feeling. Or there's snaky people in their life, people who cheat them. That's snaky. So don't get too caught up in the snake. It's the Kundalini energy is poisoned, and it causes this agitation. It's not free flowing. It's not graceful. It's not ease. So the Vedic astrologer will point out that you have a Pitru dosha, and then you got to work on it for pretty much your whole life, I would say. I've been working on it for almost 30 years since I started studying with Dr. Pillai, because I know I have it. And at that time, he said, oh, there's nothing you can do about it, which was true, but it wasn't nice to hear. And I just bawled my head off. And I was like, yes, something has to be. So over the years, then he introduced the Tarpanam. I went to all the power spots in India over the years, over the decades, and really prayed for the ancestors. And I'm in a program with Hanuman Das and in advisory services. And it's a special program for people like me, where there's so many challenges in my gene pool that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it on my own. I wouldn't even know what to do. So there are spiritual tools, technologies, and you just take it step by step. So you find out if you have a Pitru dosha, afflictions of the ancestors, and then you take the next step, which is to get into a year-long Tarpanam, or at least start at home with your Tarpanam practice and do it every day, and especially during the new moons. But if you're enrolled in the year-long program, just like I am, year after year, I don't have to think about it. If I'm traveling and I forget, or there's a time zone difference, and then I'm supposed to be in the daytime and I can't offer the Tarpanam, it can be very stressful. So I just I'm grateful for that. And then I also have the blessings to have had the blessings to go to those power spots. And Dr. Pillai is going to talk about opening up the trips to India again tomorrow. So Radha is going to pop that link to the YouTube to make sure that everybody watches that, because he's going to be going to Rameshwaram, and it is a power spot to get rid of ancestor afflictions. And then it gives you ease and grace, and things start to move and shift for you. Your destiny changes. Everyone has so many different destinies. It depends on what your choices are and your actions that follow. So we want to make sure that we get our ancestors' blessings to get rid of these malefic or malicious forces, to remove blocks that are blocking our growth and in progress in our business, our career, our job. And it helps us to get motivated to take action. So, and we also want our family to be well as well. And that's tough too, because maybe they don't understand the path that we're on with all this spiritual technology and this spiritual science that has been around for millions of years. And it works. So it's you want to try it out. We are our own experiment in life. This is our soul saying, "Hey, I need some help." So it will help to resolve disputes with family members bickering and fighting. It also, for people who don't have a suitable life partner, they are stuck in a relationship. And so many people over the years who have come and asked Dr. Ply how to get help, he says right away, do the Tarpanum practice or get into a year-long program, or go to India and go do it yourself, and you will feel it and you will know it, and you will see your third eye. You will see your ancestors being appeased and helping you to get someone who is suitable for you. And then when you come back, it's like, oh my God, it was just so easy to separate from that terrible situation, and then it opens the doors for you to find someone new. Or all of a sudden, out of nowhere, because the affliction is the curse, the affliction, the dosha as they call it, is removed, then all of a sudden it's like, who are you? You're so lovely. So you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The relationship can endure. So if you want to stay in that kind of relationship. So it helps you with suitable life partner, and then bestows the boon of parenthood, if that's what you want to do, and enables the family to be prosperous, because you want to have a family, but you also want to be able to do lots of things. There are some rituals that will help you with shielding you against or protecting you from black magic. And you can say, I come from a Catholic background, and anything like this that I grew up with, and I understand it over the past 30 years, but pretty much my whole adult life. I was like, what? Black magic, evil eye? No, what? And it's true. It's an energy. So people cutting you a dirty look, you don't feel so good. Or someone was really angry at you and you're not feeling the love, but they have a smile on their face and they go, oh, yes, I love you. And you go, I'm not feeling the love. So that can be it as well. Jealousy, there's no remedy for it, for yourself or others, because it keeps rearing its ugly head. So the Tarpanum will do that for you. So getting rid of all that suffering, and then safeguarding your health and your well-being. So mental health. I have my mother passed away. God rest her soul. Well, she's pretty happy in those realms. But she suffered her whole life. She was schizophrenic. And each one of my family members, we were all worried that one of us was going to get it, or all, because it was really terrible to grow up with that. So it will help to protect you from that karma, that sin, that suffering that soul had. Knowingly or unknowingly, they wanted to do that in this lifetime, and then pass it on to a brood of kids. So all my siblings and their kids are all doing very well. So that helps to drive away the dark forces, the falsehoods, the treachery, and increase your wellness with your health and your wealth. So if you go on to Ayurveda Apply Center and you read about how to participate in Aadi Amavasya, then you will understand really deeply inside of you, oh, I found a way out. And then if you can't, because it's not fitting into your budget at this time, and your ancestors will know, and they will tell you, all right, I'm going to help you out, such that next year, when this time comes around, or when you can participate in the year-long program, this is included in the program. So because all the new moons are included in the year-long program. So it's the best bang for buck. That's why I like it. But there's extra bells and whistles at this time, which I also participate during this time too, because I got a lot of ancestors who had a lot of problems. So you can build your way up to praying for up to, Dr. Pi says, 64 generations. So you kind of start out with 6 or 7, and then as you feel that energy being released when you're doing your tarpanum or you're participating in these proxy services, because it's for your soul, and your soul is more intelligent than you are or I am. It just will say, I can do things fast because your soul is God. It's pure light. And it will just burn away any negativity. We all have those black marks on our soul. So we'll just peel it off, burn it away. So doing that the tarpanum every day is going to be really helping you to then, what will happen is all of a sudden out of nowhere, the money comes. So you then, if money just comes out of nowhere, that means your ancestors are saying, feed me. So you can do that. So to absolve the worst sins, this is how you can begin to start to take the steps. And it does take time, but then you'll know you're not going in the wrong direction. And this is the thing that will help to you to manifest much quicker, because it will you will be doing it all the time. You will be feeding them all the time, even if you're not aware of it. But as you go along this journey with Dr. Pillai, you will find out all the power times that are great opportunities for you to remove the sins of your ancestors, all the suffering that you inherited, knowingly or unknowingly, and you can get rid of it. So then after the family, the biological and the soul genetics are cleared out, the soul genes are cleared out, then also at that same time, the ancestors, your spiritual ancestors, so the forefathers, all those great spiritual beings, the gods, the gurus who have gone. You can have a guru curse. It's like the worst kind of curse, I think. And it's not easy to get rid of, because you were disrespectful to a teacher, a guru, a spiritual master in some other lifetime. And it's really messing you up. And you know it. And you can find out that as well if you get an astrology consultation. So do that and find out what all the problems are that you are carrying, all the burdens. And then one by one, they will get released from you. And then your family will be happy. And that's what we want most, is for everyone around us to feel the benefits of our spiritual practices. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge one another, and also to acknowledge Dr. Pillai for bringing us together and trying to find out what will work in our life. And if nothing else is working, this is it. And so do this at the right time, and then you will know, okay, I'm on the right track. And then you can move forward with your spiritual practices, and you'll start to reap the benefits, because those gurus will say, oh, okay, so they respected me. They're doing the right thing. Even if they didn't in previous lifetimes, a guru is always unconditional. And he just says, okay, get on your spiritual path, do this, remove your afflictions, do everything that you can do your practices, and then I will help you to evolve very quickly. So this is the golden age. This is the technology of the golden age. And this is what will help you to come out of your harms and hurdles with Dr. Pillai's grace and blessings. So we'll close out this session. We'll do a quick little meditation. And then you can pop your questions onto the chat. And if Radha hasn't responded to them, or if you want to, follow up with a coaching session, definitely you can. I think the link is sent out in the email. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and give us a thumbs up. And if this was helpful for you, if it's not, then definitely don't. But it will be, because it's something that we don't talk about in everyday life, and it works. You will see the results. You will feel the results, and you want to do whatever it is that you can do to relieve the suffering of your ancestors, yourself, and everyone in your lineage. That's maybe what you came to do. So curses, no more. and blessings. So let's get into a little bit of a meditation. So you can close your eyes or you can keep them open. You can gaze at Dr. Pillai's image if you'd like, or you can do a combination coming and going. But if you close your eyes, then you shut everything out. And then you can connect with Dr. Pillai. Maybe his image will be right there for you in your third eye or in a flash. And then you'll, oh, wow, I got a message. So closing your eyes and putting your attention internally, we're going to create a runway, if you will, just like a plane would land on a runway or take off on a runway at the airport. We want the divine to come in and take off all the negativity. So focusing your attention on your backbone, where all the chakras, your energy centers, your psycho-spiritual energy centers are aligned with your backbone in your physical body, but this is the alignment in your energy body. And then we'll call on Ganesha to remove the obstacles. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Nirvignam Kuru Kuru. Now we'll call on Dr. Pillai to align us with our highest and best versions of ourselves, our soul that is so super intelligent. It's connected to our ancestors, the ones who are blessing us. They had a great life. The ones who are struggling, they need our help. So we'll call on Dr. Pillai to align us, acknowledge the ancestors, and ask for blessings. Om Aim Hreem Sarvalokaya Adityaya Shiva Satguru Shreem Brazi Swaha. Now we'll call on Shiva, who is so compassionate. And we'll ask him to take away our sins of our fathers or mothers, side of the family, who have passed away, who are suffering and struggling. Focus your attention at the base of the spine. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest. Move up to the throat. Move up to the middle of the brain, third eye. Float back down to the base of the spine and all the way down into the feet. Connect with the earth, the goddess. Na, 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 na. Move up into the navel chakra, the belly, the abdomen. Connect with the water element. Ma, 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 ma. Move up to the middle of the chest, heart center. Also down the arms and hands. Set them on fire. She. Move up to the throat, the mouth, the nostrils. Connect with the air element, the prana, the subtle air, the life force energy. In the throat chakra. Va, 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 va. Now move up to the two eyes, the right and left brain. The whole brain lights up. The neurons fire. Feel the tingling at the top of your skull. Connect to the Akash, the space, the ether, the divine realm of your highest self. Ya, 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 ya. Now, that's the runway inside of our subtle body. Imagine a ray of light shooting up through our skull into the space, connecting with the ancestors, wherever they are, and sending light, love, super consciousness, prayers. Forgive them, ask for their forgiveness. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Connect with that ray of light shooting up from the base of your spine, piercing all the chakras, cleansing them, energizing your soul's intelligence, beauty. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Take a moment to pray deeply to your ancestors, to be at peace, to be free, to move into higher realms. and bless each and every one of your family members, your lineage here on the earth plane, and you. Pray for whatever it is that you need help with. And relax. Slowly, slowly, gently come back to yourselves. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So in a few minutes, it would be lovely to hear what some of your experiences have been if you want to pop it onto the chat. In a few minutes, you can feel this relief because you're doing something for your soul, and your soul is connected to your ancestors. And it's connected to all your siblings, your parents, and so on, your kids, your relatives. So you're cleansing every time. And when you honor the ancestors, you do the tarpanam, which again, for those people who are just coming, it's just this little mix of black sesame seeds, and there's some white rice powder, and then there's some Darba grass for the ancestors. Not Durva. Durva is Bermuda grass for Ganesha. This is Darba grass. And I think Radha's probably posted it on there. But again, there's so many Powertime practice YouTubes. Other teachers have done sessions about Tarpanum. It's very, very important. As Dr. Pillai shares, if it's the only thing that you do for the rest of your life, offering it between sunrise and sunset, especially on new moons, and especially on Aadi Amavasya new moon, and on other important new moons, but we'll get to those later on. Mahalaya Paksha is a fortnight of the ancestors that's coming up. And so you might as well start practicing now, connect with them so that when that's a whole 14 or 15 days, goes from a full moon to a new moon. And it's when the ancestors really flood the earth plane. And then you will know, oh, I know now what it feels like. So you may feel some physical, mental, emotional releases. Please take care of yourself, self-care, and get rest if it's too much. And then if it gets to be like, oh my God, this is so overwhelming, then just back off a little bit. So start on the new moons and then work your way into a daily practice. And if you're like any of us, it comes and goes. We do a lot of it, and then it feels like, oh, they're all appeased, things are going well, and then things don't start to go well, and you go, oh, I stopped feeding my ancestors. So that's why I really highly, highly recommend that you get into that year-long program. There's different levels that you can participate, but then it's covered. So CDW is saying, so is it meditation, feeling very peaceful and grounded after our one mind meditation? Many blessings to you. Many thanks, Dr. Pillai. So that's what it is. It is Dr. Pillai coming through. I'm just the mouthpiece. So Sita is saying here, deep sleep, Sucharita ji. Yes, I like sensible means if I can afford it. Yes, definitely. So it's happened to me where I just cried and cried when the year-long program came out. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to fit this into my budget? And then I got a raise, and then money came, and I said, okay, this is going to be dedicated to charity. So feeding people. When you feed, then you are going to be feeding those in need. And your ancestors will be very, very happy because most likely, and you can do a little walk down memory lane with your family members and see how charitable nobody was, or very few were. Because it was a time of struggle. It was enough to just get, survival. Most of our ancestors were in wars. So it was survival. So not that they weren't charitable, but now it's an opportunity for us to be charitable. And like I mentioned, the 64 generations, gosh knows during which lifetime. Maybe the ancestors had a lot of wealth and they were just very greedy. And so they weren't charitable. Or they were charitable just to get, the photo op with the check. So, that can backfire. So this is the way in which you're evolving and what will help you. And God only knows what you can do. So I always measure it, but this came out of nowhere. It's coming from my ancestors, and I'm going to make sure that I am charitable and also, not that I wouldn't want to be. It's just that everything costs. The money makes the world go round. It really does, because you can't have a roof over your head and food in the fridge and so on, and do all the things that you need to do, clothes and just the basics. And then you want to travel, you want to do your spiritual practices, you want to help people. A friend of mine is really struggling, and I was so happy to be just saying, here, I'm going to send you an e-transfer. Would you like me to do that? And they were very touched, and it was like, oh no, I really can do this. So I just want to go ahead and do it because I can. So you just will know that the ancestors are helping you to help others in need, because you never know when you're going to be down and out. Shushma is saying, I use this mixture along with Darba grass. It does look like the grass offering to Lord Ganesha. I logged on to Powertime Practice at least 1.5 years. Worked on Saturdays, Sundays, 12-hour shift. Oh, cool. So, so make sure that you are taking that step into, finding out more about it. So Soul Genetics is a really good course, because if you don't do anything else, it's to honor the ancestors, and Soul Genetics is the course where you get the initiation from Dr. Pillai, and then all the goodies are there, all the instructions. And you can watch the recordings of classes that had gone on in the past. And I think there's a coaching there as well with me, so you can, get that coaching too, if you'd like. Sita's saying, happy to see you. Did not attend the program, long time, busy and forget. Okay. Well, we're at once a month. And this is very exciting news coming up, is that we're creating ways in which we're going to take people on a journey with Dr. Pillai. You can get initiations at regular time intervals, and you will know when you will need empowerments, and you'll have all these different options. So we're going to take everyone through this experience where they can pick and choose whatever they want to do. So you don't have to just sign up for a course and take it because, well, that's the only course. So this is the blessings of the ancestors and also the blessings from Dr. Pillai, that we're going to be able to offer this in the coming year. So starting 2024, and we're building it now. So keep praying, and then you won't fall off track. And you'll know exactly what you need to do next, because your buddies will be telling you, or, you'll be sharing with others, and they'll say, hey, this is what I did. This will help you. So, and then you will know, okay, there's fire labs that are really important. So power times where you know that you can't do everything, but you will get the guidance to do exactly what it is that you need to do inside of the budget that you have. So be more customized and personalized and more guided. And so you'll know what to do. This is the virtual world now. Before, we used to go in person, and then you'd have times where you could talk to myself or the other teachers. And, year after year, sometimes we would be with Dr. Pillai a few times in a year, depending on where he was in the world. We'd just all go. And then we'd spend some time with him. So you'd really understand what the teachings were. You practiced them all together, and you really dove in and got the blessings, and you saw the destiny changing so super easy, event after event after event. But since we are just now coming online, we've figured out a way that we can help people as if it was in person. And now that the pandemic is over, the travel is opened up, and who knows with Dr. Pillai what he's going to share with us tomorrow when he talks about how important it is to go to India, and there's going to be a trip coming up. So I think Radha has posted those links that are applicable to the conversation that we had today. So I think we'll wrap it up, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Have a blessed day or evening, wherever you are in the world. We'll see you with Dr. Pillai for the free session that he's going to do, the talk on the India trip and how you can change your destiny. So God bless you all. Thanks, Radha. Thanks, Yagna. Thanks, Chandra, and everybody on the Pillai Center team. It takes a village. Namaste.